So today, on request, I'm doing a quick little spray paint project, art project here for you. So generally speaking, most of my art projects are I've done on canvases that I've revamped. So if you are doing that and you're starting with a project with a painting that's already been done, I like to just take like a light sandpaper and just quickly just go over it, just in case there's any like bumps or anything like that. So I just want to sand those out so that I have a flat surface. When I'm trying to cover completely, I want to go quite close to the canvas. But if you want to have some more of the lighter effects that I did on some of my other artwork that you've seen around the house, just hold it out a little bit further and you'll get kind of that dusting. So just kind of like so, and then you get just that light dusting as opposed to a full cover. However, right at the minute, I need a full cover. I'm going to leave this to dry for probably about an hour or so, and then I will do a second coat on it. I never buy stencils ever. I always make my own. So I was just gonna show you guys quickly how I do that. So I use parchment paper, but wax paper will also work. And I cut a piece that is as big as my canvas. So this will be trickier if you have a super large canvas. Just keep that in mind. And so then what I do is I cover this with painter's tape in big long strips, and you want to make sure that the tape overlaps a little bit because you are going to cut into it to make your lettering or your pattern or whatever you're planning to put on here. And so you want to make sure that you have a little bit of overlap, just because that's going to guarantee that they stay together. Yeah. So I'm doing it this way and covering my whole canvas with this because I want the blue to be the main color, and I want my second color to just be the little highlight color. You don't have to do it that way. You could either cut this stencil smaller and then the second spray paint will create kind of an edge around your lettering, or you can just use the letters that I'm going to pull out as your stencil. And then your blue, the blue in my case would be the color that showed through, and the color that was on top would be your main color. So really, it's a preference thing. This is just what I'm doing for this particular project. I've done them both ways. I will tell you, if I'm gonna be full disclosure, that dealing with just the letters that you pull out of here is a little bit more finicky. So just, you know, some people are way craftier than me though, and you'll have no problem. I'm not super crafty, so just so I have a sense of where my lettering needs to go, I'm going to now give myself like a trace line around my canvas here, just so I can see. I am absolutely going to freehand my writing. I'm not putting lines on there for guides or anything like that. I'm just doing it like this. You don't have to do that. You can, at this point, use letters that you have lying around the house, you know, if you have stencils or anything like that, or you can, you know, draw yourself some neat lines. I'm going for something that's a little looser than that, so I'm just gonna just draw. Now, obviously this is not going to be big enough for me to cut out. So then what I'm going to do is go over this a few times with something thicker, just so that I have a neater, thicker line to work with. I'm just going to go over that and over that a few times until it's the thickness that I think I can cut out, which may be way thicker. It just depends on how brave you feel.
How brave are you feeling today?
This is my level of confidence. I'm now going to trace around the letters. So you have to remember, like, this is how thick my letters are gonna end up being, right? So I'm going to go around the outside like this, and then around the inside to create that thin line. So here goes nothing. And you do kind of want to, after you get this on here, you do want to go around and press it down and seal it, because anywhere you don't get it fully stuck down, you will get leak through. All right, so there we go. Now we're ready to spray paint. Okay, so a project that will literally take you an afternoon has now taken me over a week to complete. But here we are, we're gonna finish it today. So once you've taken off your stencil, that lovely thing that I showed you before, and you're left with this, you might have some lines that need to be cleaned up a little. I'm gonna show you a couple techniques for that, keeping in mind that this particular style is gonna give you, again, that kind of much more graffiti look. So you're not going for perfect lines, but if you have some that you really want to clean up a little bit, there's a couple of techniques. So one is to put your blade out your X-Acto knife blade, not just like, don't just grab a machete. I need you to like think about this. So that you have kind of a nice flat edge, and you can take that and just gently scrape along those edges, and you will be able to pick up some of your loose things. Now, I say this as a warning. The longer you let this dry, the harder this technique will be. So take a Q-tip and a little bit of nail polish remover. Now you do have to be careful with this, because if you push down too hard, you are going to take the color underneath as well, which is definitely not what you're doing. If you're using this technique, you want to be fairly light with the Q-tip, because you want to pull up your mistakes, but you don't want to pull up the color underneath it. So you kind of just want to carefully, see, I'm already getting some blue. So you want to just carefully just grab the color on top. So I'm not going to stress out about it too much, but if you really have a mistake that's like blaringly obvious and you think, I really don't want that, then these are the techniques that I would recommend trying to fix them. So I'm gonna grab that and this teeny tiny little paintbrush, and I'm gonna just add the detail that I want. The detail that I want for this little bubbles. For another time. If you create a stencil and you do this, I'd love to see them. So please tag us in on our Instagram, which I'm sure Leander's gonna put
somewhere on the screen.
Somewhere right here. And let me see them, and have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe. Love you, bye. Dishwasher.
dishwasher's done.